Hello friends, today I'm going to solve LeetCode problem number 739, daily temperatures. So in this problem we are given an array of integers which represents the daily temperature, and what we need to return is an array where each element, each value in the ith index in the answer array is equal to the number of days that we have to wait after the ith day to get the warmer temperature. So basically the problem statement is that for 73, that is at day 0, how many days do we have to wait to get a warmer temperature? So after 73, the next day we have 74, which is greater than 73. So basically this is a warmer temperature than 73, right? So the number of days we have to wait is equals to 1. So the value here will be equals to 1. Now next, for 74, how many days? It is 1 day as well, so we have a value 1. Now what about 75? How many days do we have to wait? Well, basically we have to wait 1, 2, 3 and 4 days, because all of these three temperatures are small and only the fourth day has a temperature greater than 75, so it would be a value 4. Now for 71, it is the similar case. We have to wait 1 day and 2 day. So it would be a value 2. For 69, it is a 1. For 72, it's a 1 because we have 76 the next day. What about 76? Well, the next temperature next day is 73, and then after that we do not have any value. So since we have reached out of bound, so basically we could not find any day greater than any day having a warmer temperature than 76, so we'll have a value 0 here. Similar is for 73, so it would be 0. So this will be our answer array. Now let's see how we could solve this problem. So far you must have guessed that what we are doing is we are doing like for each temperature we are checking all of the other temperatures and looking if they are greater or not. So we are doing it and squared time complexity, so that would be well, basically we could do it in a more optimized manner by using space, by compromising on space, so that we could perform the operation in big O of n, and the space would also be big O of n. So how can we solve this problem? And yes, for you to know, this would result in time limit exceed. So TLE, this will give a TLE, so we could not solve in this way in the LeetCode. So now let's see how we could solve this problem the other way, by using O of n, time complexity, and the space complexity. So basically we are going to use a stack. So we are going to use a stack, and what are we going to do is we are going to not check, like not kind of go forward as we did for n squared. Like for 73, we are not going to find which day has a greater temperature. So what are we going to do is we are actually going to look kind of backward. So we'll start from the first index 73, and is 73 greater than any values in the stack? Well, basically no, we do not have any value in the stack since stack is empty. So what we do is we just push the value 73. Actually we do not push the value, but we push the index of 73. So we are going to push the index 0 to our stack. Now the top of stack is the value 0. Now next we move on to this index, and we check, is any value, is 74 greater than the value at the top of the stack? And yes, 74 is greater than 73, which is at index 0, right? So what are we gonna do is we are gonna pop this value from our stack. So we pop this from our stack, and Now what we take is we take the difference. So since we are at index 1 and the value we popped from the stack is at index 0, so what we do is 1 minus 0. This gives us the number of days to find the warmer temperature. So the value is equals to 1, and we put the value 1 in our answers array. Now what we do is we push our value 1, the index 1, to our stack, and we popped our index 0 from our stack because the one reason that we removed index 0 is because this value is less than the value, this value, right? And we need a warmer temperature. So suppose okay, I'll tell you in a while why do we pop the temperatures that are less than the next temperature. So now what we do is we move on to the next value here at index 2, and since 75 is again greater than the value at the top of our stack, which is the value 1, so what we do is we pop from our stack the value 1, and we pop this. So we pop the value 1, and then we take the difference between this index and the top of the stack, so which is equals to 1. So that is the number one, that is we need 1 day to get the warmer temperature for the value at the top of the stack. Now next we move on to 71. Okay, before that we push the value 2, and then we move on to the next index, which is at 3, and 71 is not greater than 75. So what we do is we move to the next index, which is at index 4, 69. 69 is again, okay, before that we are again pushing to the stack. So what we see is 69 at index 4, which is not again greater than the value at index 3, which is 74. So what we do again is we push to our stack the value, the index at index 4. Now we move on to the next element, and now we see the value at index 4 is less than the value at index 5, right? Which means that we have found a warmer temperature for this index, the next warmer temperature for this index. So what we do is at this index, so basically we will have we will have a array initialized to all the values equals to 0. So how many we have? 8 values, right? 8 elements, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 and an 8. So all will be initialized to 0. And now since we have found for index 4 the number of days that we need to wait to get the warmer temperature, we update the value at index 4. So it is 0 1 2 3 and 4. So this is at index 4, so the value will be 5 minus 4, which is equals to 1. So we will update the value, and the value here is now equals to 1, and then we pop this one out. Now what we do is we again keep on checking, is this top of the is the value at this top of the element, top of the stack, greater than the value at index 5. So the value at index 3 is equals to 71. So since 71 is less than 72, we found a warmer temperature was 71 as well. So now what we do is we update the value for this index, because we found the warmer temperature. So that is equals to 5 minus 3, which is equals to value 2. So this will be equals to 2 now. And then again we have next element here, right? So we pop that value and we have next element, which is equals to 2. So is the value at index 2 less than the value at index 5? Well, yes, 5 is greater than 2. So what we do is we no, it is not, so what we do is we push our 5, and then this becomes our top of the stack. So now let me just clean our stack, so we do not have these values in our stack, we do not have these, so we only have these 2 values in our stack. And now we move to the next element, which is at index 6. and 76 is greater than the value at index 5, right? So we update the value at index 5, because we found a warmer temperature for this temperature at index 5. So this is at index 5, so we put a value on. And now again, since we pop this out, now the next top element in this stack is at index 2. So is the value at index 2 less than this value at index 6? Yes. 76 is greater than 75, so we found a warmer temperature for 75. So we update the value, which is 6, minus the value at the top of our stack, which is 2, so which is equals to 4. So we update the index 2, so this value will now be equals to 4, and then we move to the next element. Okay, before that we push our element value 6. So let me just clean my stack again, and now my stack only has one value. Okay, 6. So for 6, we are at index 7 now, and this is not greater, so we push it to our stack, and then now we have reached the end of the array. So the values here will be 0 0. So the final answer we have is that we have the value 4 and 2, 0, 1 and 1. Okay, so this is our final answer here. So yeah, this is how we'll solve our problem. Now let's dive into the coding. So what we need is we need a stack of length, which is equals to the length of the temperatures. So let n equals to temperatures length and n, and then we are going to fill all the values with 0. Now what are we going to do is we are going to start from the very first element. Let I equals to 0, I is less than n, and I plus plus. And what are we doing? So we are starting from the first element and we are checking the value with the values in the stack. So the stack should not be empty, and the top of this stack should be less than the value at index I. So what we're going to do is while stack with length and temperatures I. So temperature at index I should be greater than the value at the top of the stack. So what will be the value at the top of the stack? TMPERATURE temperatures. So the index, the top of the stack has the index value for the temperatures array, right? So the index value is the stack at the top, so length minus 1. So this will give us the top of the stack, and we are taking the value at the top of the stack, which will give us the index, and then on that index is the temperature at that index less than the temperature at index I? If yes, then what we do is let index equals to so we are going to update the answer at our index. So we need an answer array. Okay, no, actually this is our answer array, and our stack array will be an empty array. Yes. So what we do is we take the index, and then at that index of our answer array we update the value. So answer index equals to I minus the index. So this will give the difference in the number of days. And then finally what we do is, okay, we are gonna pop Actually, we don't need this, we just need to pop, right? And we push our element. So yeah, we push our ith index here. So every time we find a temperature which is less than the temperature at ith index, which means that we have found the temperature for ith index, the warmer temperature for ith index. So we take the number of days we need to wait, and then we push our warmer temperature that we found, and then finally we return our answer. Now let's try to run our code. Great, let's submit it. Cool.